All right, I believe we're live. What is good, YouTubes? Lord Commander here with the Mad Queens, and if you can see our special guest, Old Nan. So yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit tired, so excuse my lack of my normal enthusiasm doing our streams. But welcome to the episode where, in my opinion, everybody but Arya, the Hound, Ghost, and Brienne and Tormund ain't shit. Pretty much it. Everybody can just go ahead and die now, except for them. But I might be being a Debbie Downer, so let me pass the mic on. T Baby, start us off. Say hello to the folks.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm faceless tonight because my eyes are kind of low right now, but I'm excited.
Wonder why.
Because your girl had to be in the Weirwoods. We were talking, and I was like, I'm getting carried away. But I'm excited to talk about this episode. I liked it better than The Long Night, but it still had problems for me. But I followed Beauty Queen's advice, and I had lower expectations, and it worked.
yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Manaro.
Hey everyone, what's good? I'm happy to also be here to talk about this episode. I really loved it. So I got nothing more else to say. I guess we'll get to it I'll give my thoughts once we get to it. And what's good, Old Nan? Glad to have you here with us.
Yes, Old Nan, please say hello to the crowd.
Well, hello, y'all. How you doing? This is Old Nan, and I'm one of the she-wolves of winter. And I really appreciate these ladies inviting me to be their guest tonight. Thank you very much.
Oh, it is our pleasure. We're glad that it worked out, that you can make it. So, let's see. I guess we'll start where the bulk of the episode actually took place. Winterfell. There's a great celebration. Well, actually, there was the funeral first. Jorah finally got the kiss from Dany that he's been chasing for like 20 years now. Let's see. It had some good words from Jon. And they burnt the bodies. Most importantly, they burnt the bodies. In my opinion, they should go ahead and clear out the crypts and take care of that now, just in case this long night business gets started again. But that's just me. T Baby, what did you think about the funeral here?
I thought it was sad. It was interesting how they showed Dany crying for Jorah and how they showed Sansa crying for Theon. I noticed a lot in this episode. They kept doing the camera work where you would see Daenerys and then they kind of contrast to what Sansa was doing. So they're definitely playing that off. I like the speech that Jon made where he basically was saying like the long night, not the long night, but the Night's Watch speech. And I thought it was appropriate, the people who were carrying the actual torches to light the pyres. So, I mean, that's all. I think I had more thoughts on the whole dinner and what came after the funeral.
Let's go ahead, bring that in, because the funeral was a short set. Go ahead, give your thoughts on the dinner as well.
Dany looked crazy as fuck. Like the second they were cheering on Jon, Dany, the way her eyes is, like, I have to give that chick credit who plays Dany because she looks crazy. And it's interesting that the same thing that happened to Sansa happened to Dany, but you saw how you see that Dany is playing the scene, and I think she's being a little too cocky because I think Sansa did overhear Dany when she was talking to Terrence, talking about I can be clever too. And I think she has to be careful with that. But then it also shows that she doesn't understand that she's in Westeros and they play a different game. As far as the Gendry, I thought that was a smart move on her behalf. and then of course the thing that happened later. Then there was also, I feel like so much happened in the hallway scene. I'm trying to sum up what I enjoyed about it. I enjoyed they finally gave the Hound and Sansa a conversation, which, like I said, I thought that was gonna be weird if they don't say anything to each other. I could have had more dialogue, but I get it. I mean, but I just thought it was interesting how Danny and Sansa, how they basically were in the same position. Like, even though you're women of power and you played a huge role in winning the war, they still look at Jon because, they see leadership and they see someone that they can trust in him.
Old Nan, your thoughts on the funeral and the dinner after?
Well, I thought they did a good job of stacking them up. I mean, that was very orderly and everything. And I'm with T about Theon and Sansa giving him the pen, and I gotta admit I did shed a little tear there. And then you had the appropriate ones going to the different people. You had Grey Worm doing the Dothraki too, as well as the Unsullied. I like that. And Jon doing Lyanna because she was the one that, basically made him king of the North and gave him that responsibility. And I think that her giving Gendry Storm's End and all was a smart move, but Sansa's keeping her eyes on her, and so is Varys. Varys is watching how wild-eyed she is too, and we'll get into that later. And you get Tyrion's drinking game, which I don't know if y'all want to go into that right now or yet or not.
Yeah,
but,
we'll get to that
Tormund got his. Yeah, Tormund got his heart broke. Gendry got his heart broken. But the thing was very reminiscent of season 1 when Robert came to Winterfell, and we're seeing some of the jealousy in Dany. She doesn't feel the comfort and ease with the Western people, the Westerosi, as she does with the Eastern people. And she's proved herself in battle for them too. And I kind of get what she's saying, but you've got to put yourself in there and be a part. You can't just sit over there and not speak to nobody. That's my thinking on it anyway. I'll let y'all go on from there.
Lady Manaro.
I don't have anything else to add about the funeral. I just love the way that it was played out. It hit all the markers for me. The only thing that I will point out about the dinner is the first thing I noticed was how everybody was seated at the main table, how they had Jon in the center in between Sansa and Dany instead of Dany in the center as it was previously. And I don't know if that was done on purpose to kind of show, because throughout the dinner, we see how Jon becomes the center of attention. And I think Dany realizes that even though they recognize that she is claiming to be the queen, and she's asserting herself as the queen, she doesn't have the love of everybody. So everybody has pretty much accepted to call her queen. And I think for the most part, they accepted that, she, if it wasn't for her, she played a very pivotal role in their success. But they don't really have any real love for her because the honest truth is they don't really know her. Thank you for coming and helping us, and we really appreciate when you think you're great, but we don't really know you. They know Jon, people from the North, they know Jon, and I believe that they have a very, they have a loyalty to their own. I don't think it's necessarily meant to be done on purpose. I think it's just human nature. If you're used to someone and you have a a tendency to gravitate to what you know and what you're comfortable with, aside, instead of somebody you don't know. You could be nice, cordial, friendly with somebody you don't know, but that doesn't mean that you're going to look at them with the love that Jon was getting, because they know Jon, they fought with Jon, and they've grown to love Jon. Jon has a special relationship with them, and I think she began to see that, and I think it's more so prevalent because of the revelation of who he is, because as it goes on into the night, she understands that he has the better claim, and if they look at him with that kind of love, even if he says that he's bent the knee to her, it doesn't mean that she'll have their loyalty. And I think she kind of noticed that, and I think to Nan's point, Vara started to notice that, because he was kind of like paying attention to what was going on, because as she is panning the room, she sees Jon with the Northmen and the Wildlings. She sees Tyrion with his brother Pod and Brienne. Everybody's with their clique, right? And she's just off on her own, just sitting there on her own. And she eventually, gets up and walks out. I don't think I need to get into all of the other clique conversations. I think, again, I enjoyed all of it. I enjoyed the drinking game with Tyrion, Jaime, Brienne, and Pod. I enjoyed Tormund. I enjoyed the Hound. I thought it was sweet how as soon as Gendry was made Lord of Stone's End, he runs to find Arya, because I guess now he feels like he's worthy enough to actually act on his feelings for her and ask her to be his lady. Even though most of us know that that is not who Arya is. That's not her path. You know what I mean? And but I still thought it was a very sweet moment, but it also, snaps, brings out the reality of who Arya truly is and what her path is, which is a callback to what she told her father, that, that's not who she is. And that's all I've got.
Word. And actually, yeah, I'll start with Arya. To all of you motherfuckers that was trying to tell me for weeks now in the chat room that it was gonna happen, Arya and Gendry are it, and they're gonna get married and run Storm's End and have babies and blah 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 blah. No, bitch, no. I told y'all that is not my little wolf. That's not what she do. She had an itch. She scratched. Shit was over. She's back to war right now. Everybody's in there drinking and talking and doing whatever. Arya's outside with the bow and arrow practicing, because she's still got at least 2 more kills to make, because we know who's left on the list. But let's see. As far as my thoughts on Dany, like I said in the beginning, seriously, like 90% of the people in this episode weren't shit. I was frustrated with all of them. With all of them, except a select few. I do agree that what Daenerys did with Gendry was very smart. Not only just because, honestly, that's Robert's kid. If they're gonna follow succession still, well then, yeah, then that should happen. But also, if we're really gonna follow succession for real, then we know who else should actually be taking leadership. However, though, I do understand, Dany's point. She's come a long way to get what she's got, but everybody else has come a long way too. There's pros and cons for both sides. Honestly, just right now, everybody just seems power hungry and ridiculous to me, and I'm kind of over all of them. That's in rethinking after last night, rethinking like throughout the day and getting ready for this stream. I'm over the petty. Even though the Night King's gone now, I'm done with the petty. It's absurd. But let us press on. We get down to, actually, also, I gotta, this is probably one of the only times I'm gonna give a high five to Jaime, because that little scene where Tormund tried to call himself, shooting his shot, And when Brienne got up, he tried to go follow, and Jamie jumped up like, no, bitch, no. That's mine. Not today.
He's a fuck boy.
He is a fuck boy. I understand.
Boy.
I understand Jamie is a fuckboy. I am not disagreeing. I'm just saying that shit was
everyone
funny.
sees what I've been seeing the entire time. I want y'all to be in the comments and be like, you know what, T, you was right. Jamie's a fuckboy. He needs to die. I was right. Every time someone depended on Jamie, he lets them down. Every time. But we won't go there. My bad. I'm just saying. Okay.
Nah, you're right. You're right. I totally agree. Jamie is a fuckboy. I've always thought so. I've never liked Jamie, but that scene right there was funny. And my boy Tormund, poor Tormund, just legit had his heart ripped out. But he a wildling, you know. They don't dwell on shit like that. Soon as a couple northern ladies stepped up, like we free. He was like, oh, well, okay, all right, let's go do this. That's why you gotta love Tormund. Tormund really, he was in his feelings for about 5 minutes. For whatever reason, he feels him and the Hound have this great friendship. He went and waxed poetic to the Hound, and the Hound was just looking at him like, bruh. It was almost like Bruce Banner and Iron Man at the end of Iron Man 3. Like, dude, I'm not that type of doctor. I don't know why you're talking to me right now. Just comedy. I thought that was hilarious. The talk with Sansa and the Hound, I don't know why they waited this long for that to happen with all the other reunions that we got prior to the battles, but meh, it's whatever. You know, we press on. Like I said, let's press on. We'll go to when everyone is getting ready to leave the North. You know, Dany begs Jon. Well, I wouldn't say she begged. She kind of was telling him more than asking him to not tell his sisters or not tell anyone, actually. And Jon, being Jon, of course, you know, the boy cannot keep his mouth shut. For he's really Ned's freaking son here again. Like, sometimes you need to learn to shut what they call the fuck up, Jon, because we know we already knew who was going to spill the beans, and it came to pass. And then Jon, again, this is why I think Jon can go now too. You just fucking give away Ghost? Really? Like Ghost hasn't been there to save your ass countless times? You just tell my boy to go fuck off back north of the wall? And why the hell is anybody going back north of the wall? For what? I don't understand. But maybe that's just me being in my feelings about how ridiculous I think everybody is in this episode. Ladies, Old Nan, what do you think on the Ghost situation and how everybody was leaving and Jon not keeping his mouth shut?
Well, that was I think if somebody had talked to me and put me kind of in a corner the way Daenerys did, I think I would probably not like that. I mean, yes, she did kind of beg, said she was begging him at first, but, you know, I don't like nobody to try to tell me. To a certain point, I listen, but at a certain point, right's right and wrong's wrong. And, yeah, he probably should have kept his mouth shut, but you knew it was going to come out anyway. In the end, it had to come out. And Sansa's trying to do a little bit of little fingering. I did like the way that the Hound thought the irony of her giving Ramsay with the hounds was really, that was kind of cute. And I think that he said the only thing that would make him happy, and I think that's killing his brother. And as far as that, them leaving and everything, well, you got Gilly pregnant, which, you know, that's good. I wanted to know, what about the Night's Watch? What were they going to keep it up? What are they going to do? You know, is anybody going to think about starting the Night's Watch over? And I was upset that they didn't get any winter in King's Landing. I at least wanted to see them getting cold. So, and it was very cute, Jamie trying to seduce Brienne one-handed, and he seemed about as nervous as an adolescent. I thought that was very cute. And And I'll leave it there. We'll go on for later on. But as far as their leaving, the leaving and all, I thought it was like Sansa said. I agree with Sansa. They could have stayed a few more days. At least let the dragon heal a little better. It might still be alive. Okay, I'll shut up now.
You know what? You might be right. You might be right. Yeah. Lady Manaro, let's go with you next.
Yeah, I like all the after dinner scenes. I love the whole Jamie and Brienne thing. I love that scene. I like Nan. I thought it was really cute. I was really happy to see. I mean, to me, that for me, as a book reader, I'm kind of glad to see that it happened on screen. I don't know if we'll actually get that in the books, but I was happy to see that. No matter how it ended, I'm glad that it actually transpired for the both of them, because I think the both of them actually did need that for themselves, for the both of them. As far as Jon and Dany's scene, I also agree with Nan. It brought back to me what Sansa told her before, that men do, stupid things for women. And I was glad to hear how Jon, responded to her by saying that, she's his queen, but they are his family. And I never expected Jon was not going to tell them anyway. I would have told them, they're my family. Why should I keep it from them? I may not tell anybody else, but I'm not going to keep it from my family. They're my blood. Why should I keep a secret from them? I don't. Dany asking him not to tell them was out of selfishness, because she feels that the Iron Throne is her right, and she's afraid that if people know who Jon is, they're gonna push her to the side. And I understand that's a natural fear. You've grown up thinking that this thing was yours, and now there's a real possibility that you won't get it, even though he doesn't want it. And she was right. It doesn't matter whether he doesn't want it. People are going to stand behind him, because again, we'll go back to the scene in the Great Hall. Everybody, pretty much, loves Jon. They don't know her well enough to love her, and to his credit, he's really been trying to push her, trying to get people to, come around to her, get to know her, you know what I mean, to his credit. But yeah, I agree with Nan, doing all of that manipulative talk, I I didn't, that kind of, to me, that was kind of off-putting. That kind of turned me off to Dany in that regard. But I understood where it was coming from, and I think it mostly came out of fear, and then fear turned into, entitlement. Because you could look at her face and how her face changed from a person who was pleading to a person who felt entitled. And I really love that about Emilia Clarke, how she can, display those range of emotions on her face to kind of give you an idea of what's going on in her mind. I like the exchange between the Hound and Sansa. I think it was fitting. It's not like the Hound is a person who talks a lot. So I think their conversation served its purpose. They, in their own way, they made, they came together. They made their peace with how things, left off when once he left King's Landing. And I think he doesn't have to carry that guilt anymore, that he probably felt when he left her behind. What else? Yeah, I think that's it.
Excellent, my lady. T-Baby.
Yeah, what's the question or what topic are we on? I don't know what topic we're on.
Sorry, I was muted. My bad. Everybody leaving from the north, and Jon talking to Sansa and Arya. Jon being an asshole for not even giving Ghost a goodbye, like belly rub or nothing. All transpiring leading up to that.
Okay, so that's a lot. I'll just try to say what I remember. As far as Jon goes and goes, that kind of blew me a little bit because Jon didn't even pet him goodbye. At least like pet him. I mean, Ghost lost a fucking ear. He's been malnourished because he's little as shit now. It was kind of sad, and he's just like he doesn't belong down south. Take him to the north. Like that's just I didn't like that at all. Just seemed like, oh, let's write him off because I don't want y'all complaining where the fuck Ghost is. Who else left? King's. Oh, so basically, I think Danny should have waited, and because she was so pressed to get to the Iron Throne as soon as possible, it backfired on her because I thought it was a bad move to want to move the North people so fast after all those people just got through fighting war. Like I think she should have waited. Like I know that people don't like Sansa and everything, but she legit had a point where it was like, I don't think we need to send them down, and I don't know exactly when to say because I need to talk to, the officials. Which I didn't see nothing wrong, but they're making Danny seem so power hungry that I'm starting to wonder if the bittersweet thing is that you see someone who started off trying to be a liberator ends up being a tyrant and being something she was basically trying to stop other people from doing. But they're really laying it heavy with the Sansa and the Danny thing. So I'm curious to how that's going to play out. As far as who else left, are we talking about Jamie left the North, or are we just talking about?
No, we can go. Yeah, no, we can go ahead and toss Jamie in too, because once we leave the North, then we'll be done with that.
Okay, well. Okay, let me just go off real quick because I just need maybe a minute to just go off on him. First of all, Jamie went to Brienne's room. She was minding her own fucking business. And he goes into her room, tries to sweet talk, not tries to sweet talk her because he did sweet talk and draws off. But he's such a fuck boy because and it looks like they made it seem like he came back the second night. Like it wasn't just one night they spent together, but another night. And then he wasn't even going to tell her goodbye. Like, who the fuck takes your virginity and it doesn't even say goodbye to you? But this is the Jamie everyone loves and swear he's so honorable and all this other stuff. I just want y'all to know that every time someone needs him or they start depending on him, he runs away. He did it with Tywin. He did it with Tyrion. He did it with Cersei. He keep doing it. I'm just ready for him to die. And I thought that was like the most fucked up boy shit you can do. And I get he was trying to make her look at him like a monster and everything, say, oh, I did this and I did that. And it's like, I get it. You're trying to make her mad so that she can just let it go. But what you did was still fucked up. And then to say, after all that y'all been through, and Lord knows you owe her your life, that you just dipped out on her. I just think that's crazy. But that's all I gotta say. I like y'all basically summed it up really well. I can't really add anything else to it. All I'm just saying is Jamie's a fuck boy, and it's time for him to go. And I hope it's Arya. I hope Arya stops and be like, "What the fuck are you doing down here? Take your goofy ass back to Winterfell, or I'm gonna take your fucking face."
And that is why I had T Baby go last, because I knew that rant was coming.
That's all.
But that's facts. That's all facts. Jamie is like the ultimate fuckboys of fuckboy Westeros now. I mean, Jon a fuckboy too. Damn it, y'all. Everybody was on some bullshit except like five or six characters. Seriously. Like I said, I'm just ready for everybody to go. Damn it.
But
I'm over it.
Right? Like, am I crazy to say, like, he was not even going to say bye? He didn't even leave her like a letter to say, I'm out. He just was like, let me just go with my hand. Like, I want Arya to kill him so bad.
Right now, Jamie was doing Jamie things, being the fuckboy that he is. That's facts. I don't disagree with any of it.
This
And real
is not
quick,
Jamie.
real quick before we move on, let me jump over to the live chat and say what's good to my folks. Nancy T, the lady of the blankets, my lady love, Air and Water 365, the Imagination Realm. I saw King McKay jump in earlier. Slide the Tank Benjamin, my homie, what's good? DJ and DJ11 in the spot, Revengeance, Game of Theories with Marie, Plexi Brand, Terry T, Spots. I see Spots is always holding it down. Chrissy of Oldstones, one of my favorite moderators in the chat room. Let's see, Santavia, Sailor Diva. Let me scroll up, see who I might have missed here. Sam R09 was in earlier. I know Liver My Rhapsody is in here multitasking, so she's not in the chat as much as she usually is. Mara Jade, Starwalker. I think that's everybody. Oh, my brother Fandom D Saint, cannot forget him. And I can't scroll up anymore. Daryl Gaunt, if I missed anyone, I apologize. The chat only lets me go back so far.
I told Fandom that I actually like Cersei in this episode, and he reminded me that I said that before to the season episode. He's so sick.
You know, if you say anything about Cersei, Phantom gonna come back out like, wait a minute, back 2 weeks ago in like episode 2 or some shit, and he will have like the hard outline of what you said and will remind you if you forgot.
He's probably got screenshots and everything. Like, you were in the live. This is what you said at 10:42.
Right. I mean, like I said, I'm not mad at it. All the ladies are saying nothing but facts at all. And I appreciate it. I appreciate y'all being here in the chat room, hanging with us, and appreciate my ladies for coming out to this chat. And actually making me feel a little better than when I started this stream. Because like I said, I don't think, outside of a few people, ain't nobody shitting this episode. And like everybody kind of ticked me off. But before we do leave the North, I forgot. Bronze punk ass actually did show up.
And I forgot about Arya too. She curved Gendry so hard. Hard.
And Gendry should have seen it coming.
He like,
I'm sorry.
Title shit. But I mean, we all knew that she said she's not a lady. You know, that's not her thing. So the second, I was cringing. I was like, oh, this isn't going to end well. Because you know Arya's not about that. So
it sure didn't. Like you apparently you weren't paying attention the whole time. You thought you knew that this chick's mind, and you were wrong, good sir. You are wrong. I'm sorry. You know, I'm glad that you are the Lord of the Stormlands now. I hope that you do succeed in all of your lordly endeavors. But Arya ain't gonna be the one that's on your arm. That is just a fact. It's not gonna happen, Gendry. You might as well be like Tormund and go ahead and move on right now.
Heartbroken. And the only thing that I have to add with Bronn is you had one job to do, just one, and you just couldn't do it. So I hope you die too.
This motherfucker's still trying to get a castle. Why are you still fucking with these Lannisters, Bronn? Didn't Qyburn like say he had a wagon of gold already? Why haven't you fucked off the Essos yet? Seriously, these Lannisters don't give a fuck about you, bruh. But so before we move on, Old Nan, Manaro, I'm gonna let y'all give y'all thoughts if you have any on Bronn. Old Nan, why don't you go ahead and take it first?
Well, I kind of figured it was going to go the way it did on Bronn. He's just a sellsword, and Tyrion did ask him what he would, would he kill a baby, a newborn child, and he said how much. He'd ask how much. So I mean that kind of lets you know, and he was getting serious with them boys too. I mean he was talking the talk and walking the walk too, and yeah, I thought that was kind of strange. I do want to go back to Ghost because I forgot to put my thing in on Ghost. What he did with Ghost is very reminiscent of the way Rob did, and I think he should listen to Ghost because it ain't over yet. And let's see, where are we at now?
That was it. Just Bronn and getting out of the North.
Yeah, I think that they're you never know where Bron's gonna be at either, and what he's gonna do. So, and as far as Jamie leaving, I don't know if he's gonna be the Valonqar and go back and kill Cersei, or if he's gonna go back, and, just help her. I don't know. You never just can't tell about him. But I'm kind of got the feeling that he may wind up being the Valonqar in this sense.
Manaro, any thoughts on Bronn or Jamie leaving?
I thought Braun was just being Braun. He was hedging his bets, and when he came to Tyrion, Tyrion offered him the reach. So there's always a potential so that even if even if Cersei dies, he would want Cersei to die, because trust me, if Tyrion and Jamie end up dying, Cersei's not really gonna give him anything. She's gonna set the mountain on him. That's how Cersei is. She's gonna double cross him. At least with Tyrion, he has a chance of probably getting something out of the deal. And I think he probably also knew that. So he's hedging his bet. So I just thought Bronn was just being Bronn. As far as Jamie leaving, I know that probably upset a lot of people, but I get it. I understood where he was coming from with that. Does it make it right? Not necessarily, but I think either Brienne in her hearts of hearts, knew what the deal was, and it happened. I didn't have a problem with it, because he was going to have to get to King's Landing anyway. And the catalyst was when they gave him the news that, Dany was ambushed, I think there might be a part of him that, feels a sense of, I got to deal with this. So, like I said, it is what it is. There's nothing. I don't have anything. I'm not going to sit up here and belabor what he is or what he did, what he didn't do. To some people, it's going to come off wrong, and to some people, they're going to understand it, and then it is what it is. And that's all I got.
Yeah, true enough. Bronn is doing Bronn things, but I don't think Bronn is getting shit from the Lannisters. Whether Dany loses and Tyrion dies or Jamie dies, Cersei's not giving him shit. If Cersei dies and Tyrion and Dany win, he's still not getting shit. It's a wrap.
Yeah,
I think Bronn needs to go ahead and take his gold and roll out.
He's too stupid. He thinks he's going to get a good outcome. But
the second
he approached them, I think if he would have approached them differently, then they would have gave him the castle and really worked with him. But because he was just like, let me just shoot you now, I think they're not going to give it. I think they're going to work him, and they want to make sure he's dead, because they know. I mean, I think they should have knew they couldn't trust him because he is a sellsword. But still, like after that, I'd be like, nah, I'm going to work this one. And there's that awkward silence. And we're still muted.
Damn.
I think
Damn mute
forgot to unmute herself.
I'm like,
that
let
mute
me
button.
keep this going so it's not just dead air.
That mute button don't want us to be great, man. Nah, but yeah, even no matter who wins, Bronn loses. Unless he is on the other side of the narrow sea when all is said and done, he's dead. So, meh. I mean, it's Bronn being Bronn, so that's to be expected.
If
you have something? Go ahead.
Yes. The Bronn talking about where the Lannisters came from, because they were swindlers too and everything. Jamie wanted to get all high and mighty with him about it, and he brought him back down. But it kind of gave a little Reigns of Castamere kind of vibe to it. To me, it was very much hinted at, that you kill a bunch of people, you get to be a lord. You kill a bunch more, you get to be a king. Well, I mean, I don't know if it was just me or did it seemed like they were hinting at that. That's it.
I didn't personally get that vibe, but that is a theory that's been kicked around for a while, that for some reason Braun is a long lost reign of Castamere. But I don't know. With all the other stuff that we've seen this season, you never know. It might come out as one of them footnotes at the end. We shall see. But let us go ahead and get away from the North. We get to they split the parties. Jon and Davos are taking the King's Road, and Dany and the fleet are flying and taking the ships. And there's the happy sailing, dragon flying music is playing, and then we come around the corner, and out of nowhere, Rhaegal takes a hit. And then it's pretty much just all downhill for the fleet from there. I don't know. I didn't expect any of that to come through at all. It did surprise me, but then it kind of made me mad because now it's another awesome magical creature just wasted for shock value. Like, and just of all the ways they could have taken Rhaegal down, it's some lucky shots that happened. That from rapid fire ballistas that we were not there before, but Qyburn's apparently extremely smart, so he came up with this shit. I don't know. Let's see, Manaro, you go first on this one. What do you think of this whole sea battle and the shipwreck and all that?
I think they had it coming. I think they had it coming. I think it played out exactly the way it was supposed to. And then we'll go back to the scene where they were doing their battle plans that T alluded to. And I agree with her that when Sansa said that they needed time to rest and recuperate, I think also at that same conversation, they should have sent out some scouts to get a lay of what was going on. Because while we were fighting up here, something must have been going on down there. And you got too cocky and was just too fixated that nobody took the time to say, okay, maybe we should just do some reconnaissance, get some intel, find out what's going on. Yeah, we know that the Golden Company is there. But remember the last time you're there, you got your dragon almost got shot with a scorpion. Do we need to find out if that scorpion is still around? Do we need to find out if maybe they have more? I think you were in too much of a rush and too fixated to go and get something that nobody took the time to really do some recon. And so you got caught off your guard and your dragon died. I knew that dragon was gonna go. And when I saw it flying around there, I was like, they're about to shoot that thing they're about to shoot it down. And that's exactly what happened, And I have to give props to Cersei and Qyburn because they weren't sitting there twiddling their thumbs. They were getting prepared. Cersei had the experience of age and being around a lot of men of war. And so she maneuvered herself and put herself in a position to be ready for what was going to come her way. These guys would have benefited from sitting down for a little while, letting these troops recuperate. It probably would have allowed them time to come up with some sort of a plan, come up with some sort of a way to go do some sort of reconnaissance to find out what they were going to be facing when they went down there so that they can better prepare themselves. But they didn't do that. And so, Rhaegal, ended up paying the ultimate price for that. Well, Rhaegal and Missandei ended up paying the ultimate price for that.
Indeed. T-Baby, you want to take it next?
Yeah, I was just thinking of this meme I saw where it's a picture of Grey Worm and it says me Sunday, and it's like a picture of somebody's ice cream cone on the ground. What were we talking about?
The whole ship ambush
Right,
and the
right.
loss of Rhaegal and Missandei.
So let me just tell you how petty I am. I never laughed so hard when that dragon died. And I don't know if it was like a weird like defense mechanism or something, because all I remember was they were playing the happy dragon music and then it just cuts off and then he just gets fucked up. So I'm with Beauty Queen on that. I kind of saw that coming when they would just drop it. The music was too happy and it was throwing me off because I was watching Game of Thrones. As far as like Danny and Sansa, once again, it goes. I agree with Beauty Queen. It goes back to she was right. You need to slow down and let people rest. And in that time, she could have got word from the Dornish, because I think by that time she found out that the Dornish was on her side and stuff like that. So there was no rush, and I think that was her problem, is that she was in such a rush to just hurry up and get the Iron Throne. And I think it's the idea that she's trying to rush because she also has Jon in the back of her head, that at any moment it could all be taken away from her just because he has the right name. So but I'm also agreeing with Beauty Queen because I think she deserved it and had everything coming to her. This is what you get when you don't understand what you're trying to rule. And it goes to show you that Dany doesn't know what she's doing here. Like, Cersei's winning because she knows the people here. She knows the layout. She knows the people that you're trying to fight with and who you're trying to work with. Like, she grew up learning this stuff, just like Tyrion, but Cersei's willing to go the extra mile, just like her father was. And that's why her father was so successful in what he did, because he was willing to burn people, innocent people, to make sure that he got what he wanted accomplished. But as far as the whole attack, I get where some people like, how did they get these scorpions to like go well? But it's like, I'm really agreeing with Beauty Queen. But it's like she said, they had time and she wasn't just twiddling her thumb. She was preparing for war, just like how Sansa was preparing for war when it was dealing with the Long Night. Cersei was too. So I think that they learned from their mistakes with the first one, realized, you know what, we can't just have one, we need multiple. And of course, Cersei has Qyburn, who hears the secrets and everything, the whispers. So of course he knows when Dany's leaving, when she's on her way. Cersei was just waiting for her. Like, she's been doing this time and time again with Dany. And the fact that Dany doesn't catch on that Cersei's not the one who you can just do regular tactics with. She's going to mess you up to the point where, in order for you to actually win this throne that you want so bad, you're going to have people that hate you all because of how you got the throne. Like, that stuff matters. But that's all I gotta say.
Old Nan.
I agree with that. But the thing that I don't get, after that, especially after that battle with the dead, you would have thought that they would have thought about armor and them dragons and her. You know, they could have put some armor on them dragons. Should have already done it. Might have helped, might not have done a bit of good with that projectile. But that's been one of my pet peeves from the start. As far as the Ironborn, I thought the ships looked very cool, and I thought that Euron's starting to look more and more, just by the look of the ship now, like the book Euron. As far as that goes. Uh, they lost the fleet. She jumped the gun. She had the people from the Iron Islands, and she had the Dornish. And she could have waited another week or two, and even just getting her people killed the way she did. She had a pitiful amount of of Unsullied left, and I didn't see any Dothraki up there at the castle when they were talking to Cersei and all. So I don't know. I think that Qyburn and Cersei together are a very frightening combination. And you're right, they did the work. And I think that Danny, she started off with nothing, and she may wind up with nothing. So that's just my point on that part. And as far as Jon, as the Regal dying, if she'd have stayed, let him rest, let him heal, he might have averted it all too. He might not have. But, he gave up Ghost. And when he did that, it was like you kind of knew something was bound to happen. You just don't do that, to my way of thinking. Anyway, that's it.
Hashtag they deserved it. Series by Lord Commander AK and Johnny B Crazy, and we've got a long list already, but there will still be people added to the list. T Baby, you got something?
I was just gonna say I agree with everything Old Nan just said. She was right on point with that.
Right, yeah. Why did our dragons never get any armor? Now it didn't have to be like really heavy armor, but something to try to maybe not block the ballistas, but at least soften the blow. So maybe Regal could have swerved and dodged and got out the way. But I don't know. I mean, but this chick is still riding without a damn saddle. So yeah, and clearly nobody was thinking about that for whatever reason. Oh boy. Thank you, Chrissy, for getting that link out there. Appreciate that. And again, appreciate everybody coming through in the chat. We got 35 people watching. What? My little ass channel. I appreciate y'all coming in. Okay, so we lost Miss Sandy also. I was upset with Regal, but even more upset about Miss Sandy. And like Ree said in the chat, they done went through this little battle and got Miss Sandy as prisoner, and the bitch's hair still looks awesome. Like Miss Sandy has never had a bad hair day, no matter what. And I appreciate it though, because she's pretty to look at. That's neither here nor there. Miss Sandy has lost her head, and I think it says a lot when that scene was playing. Grey Worm has seen so much death and dealt so much death himself, but he could not bear to watch Miss Sandy going down. And boy, did baby girl go out like a G though. What was her final word? Fucking Dracarys. Seriously, everybody's telling Danny not to burn shit and all that, and I understand you don't want to clip the innocent, while you're trying to take care of what you perceive as the big bad. But like one of the ladies said earlier, if that was Tywin Lannister with dragons, you think he would have gave a fuck about how many innocent people were still in King's Landing? It would have been Dracarys all day. So, I mean, I get not wanting to harm the innocent, but when you look at some of these great battle commanders of old, like Tywin and others that came before him, this shit would not have been going on for this long. That's just the facts. But, shout out. I'll take a sip right now. Drinks up for Lady Miss Sandy. Now her watch is ended. So we get to you got something, Old Nan? Go ahead.
Dracarys.
Damn right. We get to the gate at King's Landing. There's the stare off, and Danny calls for surrender, Cersei calls for surrender, and all this other stuff. I believe we ended up with Tyrion walked out, and they had a damn ballista aimed right at him, and he has this like wordless almost conversation with Cersei for a minute. I don't know. You guys still think that Tyrion's been playing both sides, and the ultimate goal was to actually betray Danny to his sister? I feel like it's still possible, and definitely from that conversation he had with Varys. But I don't know. What do you guys think about the whole wrap up to the ending of this episode? Old Nan, I'll go with you first.
Well, for one thing, what did Euron think when Tyrion come up talking about her baby? He shouldn't have known about that. And so that may give her some problems later on. But that's why I'm saying it's getting more like to the book Euron, because Euron's got a pregnant woman that hits his baby strapped to the mast of his boat, So I don't think that's going to bother Euron at all. As far as the talking, I think it was useless. He should have known it was useless. And the whole kit and caboodle, I think that she should have encircled King's Landing when she first got there and just been done with it before she started building so many ballistas. And I don't think Cersei's going to surrender. Why would she? In her mind, she's got the advantage. Not only does she come surrounded by innocent small folk she's using as human shields, she's got those drums of, I don't know if it's wildfire or oil or what, in those towers overlooking. And it looks like she got something ready to blow the people up, probably blame it on Danny. So I don't think Cersei's going to quit anytime soon. And like I said, why would she? So where's no Dothraki showed up when they had their little thing in front of Cersei there. And as far as Tyrion talking to Qyburn don't care either. I mean, he's a master butcher himself. So that's about it for me.
Yeah, well said. Manaro?
Yeah, I just thought it was just, they were just, everything was just for for show and semantics. That's just the way that these things go. It's just that they can say that they did that, but we all know that nobody is going to surrender to the other person, and and I think, like I said, Cersei, Cersei played her hand and she did well. She got the desired effect that she wanted to. Missandei just happened to be, a, a, a innocent bystander that just got caught up in this maelstrom, and ended up dying for it. You know, and but her death was specific to get, to make Danny angry, because Tyrion's once said that, angry people do stupid things. So yeah, she can go and she can burn the city down, but how does that leave you in the end? What does that leave you in the end when you burn everything down? What does that leave you in the end? You know what I mean? And I think Tyrion, I think this all goes back to the conversation that Tyrion and Varys had when they were on the ship, and how Varys also, plainly told Danny, you don't you don't want to do anything that's going to kill innocent people, because they are the very people that you are claiming that you want to protect. And he told her that Cersei was just using them as a shield. They have to figure out a different way in order to deal with Cersei without having to harm anybody. Again, that would have been very useful if you had sat down and relaxed for a little bit, because the throne is not going anywhere. That would have given you time to prepare, time to make some sort of plan. You've got Arya there. She's really good at sneaking up on people. I mean, you could have made full use of the personnel that you had around you, but you were too fixated. And now, your dragon is dead and Missandei is dead. And now that's something that you got to deal with. So now you're going to go on a fiery rampage, and then you probably will end up left with nothing. I don't know.
I do concur with that, except I don't think anybody knows that Arya's on the way there yet, nor the Hound either.
I wasn't saying that they knew they were on the. I'm saying if they had sat down back when they were in Winterfell,
right.
They probably could have made full use of everybody's talent if they had sat down, allowed people to rest, try to come up with a plan. But that was not what happened, and so things are unfolding as they are.
Right, got you. T baby.
Yeah, I mean, y'all said it basically. it goes to she's playing on Danny's emotions. The second, okay, let me first stay with Tyrion. I think Tyrion did the whole negotiation because that's just what you do. You give up, I think he said like in season 1, you give him like ridiculous demands, but it's a back and forth thing. It's all for show. But he had to do something because Tyrion is really trying to make sure that innocent people don't die through this war. Because I think it's one thing when you have soldiers fighting soldiers who are trained to fight, and then you have like women and children and old people who are in the way because of a war that you have between these two, queens. I think that when it comes to Cersei, this is why I'm like, okay, Cersei's really playing it because she knows that if she protects herself by surrounding herself with innocent people, she knows that if John's with her and John's more like Ned, that he's not going to want to be a part of it. And if we remember, I think it was last season, she wanted John to stay out of the whole situation. So this is what I'm saying. She's playing it on so many levels. And it goes back to if she did listen to what Sansa said, she would actually have time to rationalize and analyze the situation that's at hand. And I think if she would have stayed there, you never know. Varys could have possibly knew that the Ironborn and Euron is on the move or something. And it's also was smart what Beauty Queen said that, if you were wise enough and smart enough, you would utilize Arya because we know that Arya is we know she's like badass assassin. So yeah, I agree with you on that. But once again, I have to give Cersei all the props because she's basically Tywin in a skirt and she's playing Danny. Every time Danny thinks like she's going to get this upper hand, Cersei just shuts it down effortlessly. And I love the fact that you got this person because it's easy to think that okay, Danny's this wonderful person who's trying to save these people, yet in the same breath she's like, you know what, it doesn't matter because it'll be for a greater purpose. It's like now you're becoming just like any other person who's a part of this will that you swear you want to break. I think she's starting to lose herself, and that's why I said earlier that I think that Danny might be her bittersweet. It might be a bittersweet. Like this thing where now she's like,
we lost you for like 30 seconds. So repeat what you just said.
oh fuck that. Basically I agree with everybody what y'all said. And yeah, I think Cersei deserves her props for what she did. And I think that Danny doesn't know her surroundings. And because you don't know the lords, because you didn't take the time to actually plan this war out, because I don't think even like her ancestors, he didn't just off the bat just start killing people and taking over. He got to know people before he started, Aegon. I don't know why her ancestors, but he analyzed the land and people before he started actually going to war with them. And I think that's Dany's issues, that she's so used to, I'm just going to show up with my dragons and we're just going to take over. Well, Westeros is a different monster because they don't play fair and they know how to play the Game of Thrones. That's it. And sorry if I cut off, but I can't remember everything I said.
It's because them werewoods be in you.
No, that's just called bad internet.
But yeah, so that was our episode. For me, it was the episode of People Ain't Shit. Let's see. I think I would give this a 7.5 out of 10 for me. T, what's your rating?
I'm gonna give it a 7, even though I think I gave last episode a 7, so 7, 2.5. It was decent, but it was okay. It wasn't a bad episode, but it wasn't like, oh, this was amazing.
Agreed. Old Nan, what are you rating out of 10?
Oh, I think I'm gonna go with 7.5. I think it's You know, I mean, it's a good show. David Nutter is the guy who did it, and one of the guys, and he does real good about setting up the next show. He's very good about that. And as far as that goes, they got the next episode set up very well. I still want to know what's going on. Why nobody said nothing about a Night's Watch. And I do believe that they're going to leave all of that for their new series. You know, we didn't get any closure on the Night's King, really. So I think that's just going to be left for that. But this, as far as Cersei goes, is just beginning. And that's my thinking.
Word. And yeah, I do agree about the whole Night's Watch. Like all those empty lands and castles right there. Why even go past the wall again? But they're gonna do what they do. Lady Manaro, what's your rating for the episode, please?
I gave it a 9. I enjoyed it. I loved everything about. I loved everything except one thing about it. Well, it's not that I didn't like it. I understood why it was. I get the meaning behind it. I just wished it had played out a little differently, but otherwise, I loved the episode. I thought it was great. I thought it was well done. I thought it was well executed, just in my opinion. Um, just a quick. I don't think they mentioned Night Watch because I don't think they felt the need to have one. They destroyed the Night King, and I think in their mind that there was the whole purpose of the Night's Watch was to primarily was to keep the wildlings from coming south, but that's no longer an issue. So, and I believe from what Tormund said, they were going to go and occupy the castles that were up there at the wall. So, because that's their home. That's home for them. So they're just going to go back home because that's what they know is home. So I think that's probably why we don't hear anything else about the Night's Watch. I don't think there was a real need for it because, again, I think it was primarily erected for the purpose of keeping wildlings from coming south. And then the whole thing with the others and whites, just happened to be something that also came about. But I think both of those things are no longer a real issue. So I guess there was no real need to even, think about instituting a new Night's Watch. That's just my thoughts based on the episode.
Yeah, definitely understandable. So yeah, that's been our episode, folks. I know if they haven't started already in a little bit, I think Drinks and Nose Things will be on. So if they are, you guys head on over to there. Tell them AK sends her regards. Let's see. I think coming up, there's a few other people that are going to be streaming. I don't have everyone on like my list right now. Mods, if you guys know of some streams, go ahead and toss those links in the chat room for me, please. And I will be back on next Sunday, to chat during the episode. If you guys want to come by my chat room and chat with me, and we'll be back again next week. I think on T's channel. T baby, can you confirm that?
I mean, I guess it's okay. I'll host. Maybe it'll be a good stream. We'll start off with Jamie's death, all the good memories we had of him.
Okay, so next Monday we will be back on T Baby's channel, and I believe we'll be joined by LMR. Is that correct?
Yes, we're gonna have LMR on that one, and then of course for the finale we're gonna have our girl Sam. It's gonna be fun. Girl talks for Thrones, always a good time.
Yes, indeed. So let my ladies sign off. We'll start with our special guest, Old Nan. Please say good evening to the realm as we shut down here.
Well, I'd like to thank everybody for putting up with an old woman. Thank the ladies for having me on as their guest. And thank all the chat. We enjoy all of y'all's input. I want to thank all the people that were at the Ice and Fire Con. These ladies, this is our third one with most of us together. And we have had a grand time together and getting to know people, seeing them face to face. And I can't remember everybody we saw out there, but I think some of y'all in the chat thank you so much for talking to me and letting me know who you are so I can put a face with everything. Thank you, ladies, and God bless all of y'all.
Lady Manaro.
Yeah, I want to echo what everyone said. Thank you so much for coming out and hanging out with us, taking time out of your evening to come and listen to us chat Game of Thrones. Um, I, I hope everybody has a good night after we leave here. Old Nan, I'm so glad we got to have you on with us. It kind of felt very nostalgic, so we have to do it again. I'm so glad that I got to see you at Ice and Fire Con. You were definitely one of the highlights. And I'm always happy to be on with my girls. So once again, thank you for hanging out with us, and we'll see you on the next stream. Peace.
T baby, come through.
I thought I was her highlight, but it's all good. No, but thanks for chilling with us. Had fun. Y'all know I love teasing Jamie, so this was a real good stream. Like AK said, we'll be back on my channel Monday 7:30. We'll have LMR. You know we're gonna be cutting up. And like I said, of course, season finale, we're gonna have our girl Sam. And like as always, it's always a good time when we talk Thrones. So, and I'm glad everyone came out. Hit the like button, show us some love. You know, that's about it.
All right, excellent. Yes, one love to everyone in the chat. Thank you again, Old Nan, for coming to hang with us. My ladies, it's always a pleasure to chat with you, Manaro and T. We missed Lady Diligence this stream, but hopefully we'll have her back with us next week. And we'll probably get a little bit from Baby Waddling in the background as well.
And Timo, don't forget Timo Lisi.
And Timo Lisi, yes, Timo Lisi. I haven't talked to Timo. Well, no, I talked to her a little bit. I did talk to her a little bit in the chat last night.
Oh, okay.
I was hoping she would show up today, but she did not. So hopefully we'll be able to get her.
They said that her boy's a fuck boy, and you can't argue it. You can't argue it.
Timo, now you gotta come on next time. T over here calling you out. So we got to solve this thing that's going on here with fuckboy Jamie.
Oh, and we also got to say that Sansa will be the queen. She'll just have to accept that. She'll just have to accept that Sansa will be queen, and she'll have to bend the knee.
This is what happens when you don't come on the stream.
Yeah, but Sansa still ain't shit. But anyway, thank y'all again for coming out, and I will be back again next Sunday. And y'all know y'all can always catch me in the streams. But as of right now, Lord Commander is tired, and she is taking her tired ass to bed. So I will holler at y'all next time. Peace.